How's it going?
Good. We're battling through these 1 week, 1 hour practices. We get limited time we can get out, but great excitement. Obviously, the start of season. The big thing for us is we had 10 freshmen last year, so we got 9 sophomores. That's a third of our team is a year older. We're way more efficient than we were a year ago to start. The communication's on. It's kind of more lively right now because we have more of a veteran group compared to having 10 freshmen when we start a year. It was quiet and silent. So there's been an uptick in our start. I hope that carries through. We're just excited to get going. And it's kind of nice we get these exhibition games. We get Bemidji in here in 1 week, and we get to practice tomorrow out here for the first time. And so away we go. I'm here for questions.
I just wanted to hear your thoughts on obviously Kessler captain Nelson. What do you see in his leadership style?
Well, unfortunately, we lost Michael to an injury, so we're going to be without Michael for a handful of weeks here, which is a big blow for him, a big blow for us. But our leadership group would, you get for the first time that we're taking advantage of the COVID rule to have some returning players with Nelson, Brodzinski, and Justen Close, and then you got Nevers and Michael, who are just they're all about the program, and they had great mentorship. We've just had this carried over on leadership. The coolest story that I've got is I was walking in the rink 2 weeks ago with Nelly, and I go, Nelly, is it weird to be back? And he just turns, he says, it'd be weird if I wasn't here. And I thought that was the coolest line that I got.
How do you see that kind of leadership kind of transfer over each time? When you lose guys like whether it's Brock or Lacombe, are you seeing younger voices being more assertive that you maybe help out of their shell a little bit?
When you've got players that have given their heart to the program and that rubs off, and it was one of the first things we said. I said, the guys that you're replacing, did they care about this program? And every returning guy understands it right to the core of their heart, and it's their turn. And that's, I think, how they're taking it. You'll get a better feel when you talk to them, but it's their turn to lead this program, and we're in great hands. Great young men.
Have you seen any examples of guys showing that it's their turn and asserting themselves as leaders and helping out the guys get up to speed?
I think more of that is just going to be in just our preparation, and we're still early. Might be a better question to ask in a month, on specific. I think just a comment Nelly made, he wants to be here. I mean, that's the battle, and for a fifth year, he's excited for this challenge, and it's going to be a blow for Michael. Michael's got to deal with some personal things now with his injury to get back. But he's in great spirits too for what he's going through. The big thing is, and I'll go back to the eyeball test. That I still love the eyeball test more than any physical test we get back. I mean, we've got some guys that I can say are who have done tremendous work in the off season. Brodzinski, Kurth, Lamb, Pino Nemi. And I even hate if I'm missing somebody on it, which I am. I mean, visibly different. And what I mean different is it's wow. And that's college sports. Emergence in players that not just new guys that come in, but emergence in players that take bigger roles and bigger steps.
Say that's college sports, I'll take it in a completely different direction. How much does the presence of NIL affect you just day to day in what you're trying to do with your current program and your future program? Different than in years past.
I have to be very cautious how I answer this because not at all, I can tell you. But that could change in a day. You have to keep your fingers and pulse on it. I made it wasn't a joke. I made the comment last year. I mean, we hear rumors it's leaking out in hockey, getting bigger, but there's no proof to it. And is it out there? Sure. But nowhere near what's happening in the other sports. Not even in the same stratosphere of what you're hearing. Now, we might have a press conference next week, and I can tell you it's different. That's how fast the world's changing with what we're seeing. But it's not gonna, it's not gonna affect us.
Do you think it's different because of the sport specifically, or do you think it's different because of the legacy that your program carries?
Probably both. I think probably both on that. It's the real story that's not getting told enough is name, image, and likeness. Is 90% of the rule is outstanding and working, but you're not going to write about that. The guy that starts a hockey school and works hockey school and makes money the old-fashioned way, but that's where golf can coach golf lessons. Tennis person can coach tennis lessons. That was the purpose of the main purpose of that. And there are, or our guy getting burritos all year, like because he wants to, support Chipotle. I mean, that is. There are far more of those stories that aren't being told that are happening to student athletes around the country, but there are far bigger stories that are going to make more headlines to carry.
With the guys that you lost, in terms of special teams.
The ones we're seeing clips of right now?
Yeah, right. Special teams, I guess, kind of the biggest early question for you guys. I mean, just finding who's going to go in those spots.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. The biggest for us right now in an early snapshot, I'll even go back to a year ago at this time. Did I think we were going to replace 117 goals, and we beat it by 30 with 10 freshmen? I think our offense is going to be fine. We have enough in there all over our lineup to produce offense at a level we want to score, where we're used to being. When you had veteran defensemen, and now, and then especially early with Michael out, Fish is the only veteran back who doesn't have a ton of experience. We're pretty young back there. Thank goodness we got a lot of talent back there, but that's kind of the nature of our program a lot of times. We really benefited last year by players staying late into their careers in our sport, which doesn't happen in our sport. And now we're doing what everyone else does. We're playing a lot of young guys in key positions, and thank goodness we got some good ones in there that are going to be able to fill those spots.
Bob, your program's goals come in April and March. What type of fire do you see from your players right now toward that?
I don't know if it's anything we're going to be more process driven, but they know, they've been in 3 straight tournaments and 2 Frozen Four. It's there. We got to get back in the tournament, and that is the fight. Of course, we can talk April all we want, but we have to take care of October first, and those are the games that help set you up to get into that thing. And once we get there, we have a group of guys that have been there that know what it's all about. But we've got to get into the battle to make sure, Big Ten play and our non-conference schedule to get us into that tournament. We've crossed some barriers. We got one more to cross, but we got to be in it. We got to get our rear ends back in that tournament.
You mentioned highlights of guys. What do you think of the Cooley goal? Did you watch it the next day after that?
I didn't see that one. I just saw the Combs 2 the other day.
Oh, okay.
And then Johnson. And then
What in Australia I meant the
I didn't see it.
You got it. It was good.
Yeah, find it.
Good thing I didn't. Hey, we got to see it for a year, and I texted all those guys. We're proud of them, and we're excited for what they're doing. And we have some guys now in that locker room who are pretty excited right now. There's some ice that's opened up, and it creates new opportunities.
Did you have an inkling Cooley might leave?
Yeah, it's part of our world now.
Yeah.
Every guy, if you got a first-round draft pick and second-round draft pick, they're going to be off. Every one of our guys is going to have that opportunity at some point. So
You talked about guys who look a lot different. off-season conditioning and all. Does the availability of more ice do you think that kind of led to them to get?
No, I think that that's just a bonus. They want that next step. I mean, they trained, that year of experience, just a little swagger on a couple guys coming, that you got some steadiness in there with Nelson and Closer and Michael when he was there. It was crazy that practice Mike got dinged up. He was, the things we were working on, he was great that day, like leading the way, and then that's how it works. But it's that next group of guys that are going to take that big step, and there's a different swagger in a handful of those guys.
We've seen from Snuggerud, we look at him, he lost 2 really good line mates, but there's an opportunity there for him, I think, maybe take another
For
probably
sure.
step.
I mean, he's one of the top scorers in the country coming back, and the first week we played small games, and I think he got the game winner every game. He just has the knack to score. It's never going to leave him, and he's going to pick up right where he left off. All signs are full steam ahead with him.
What are your early impressions on Logan over there?
He's really fast, and he works. He's there's a reason players like that get drafted in the first round. It's world-class speed, and what gets us the most is there's his work ethic and how he goes about his business. It's just at a high level, and there's no let up in him. And we actually talked about today, like he can't wait to play a game and just start working and getting after it. And he's going to be a fun one.
A guy like Brock Faber, just with you guys recently, and he's playing with Jonas Brodin tonight, with the Wild, the top 4 role. I know you think the world of him, but just what do you think about him in a top 4 role in the NHL and the ability of being that guy?
I think he needed another year. No, Brock is just, number one, he's a leader, 2, he's a world-class skater and defender, and there's not anything that's going to intimidate him. Like he showed that last year when like when I say he's not going to be nervous. I mean, there might be some butterflies early, but he's just going to get out and do what he does. He's done it on a national stage with the World Juniors. He did it here. He's done it. He's going to be a tremendous player for them over there. It'll be fun to watch.
Does a year like Brock make it easier to tell guys it helps to stick around? He was the same player from the start of the year to the end of the year, where some other younger guys maybe fall off as the year goes on.
It's out there. There's enough, there's enough out there on when you track the history of players that are having high success in the NHL. The longer they wait, a lot of times, in many cases, it that you can point out, and I wish that were the driving decision on all of them, but it's not. It's just part of our world that we have to live with. And honestly, like, you guys are going to probably you all are going to talk about it more than we, like, loved having Logan here, and he was great here, and he's going to be a great player. He made his decision, and you know what? I'd hug him and wish him the best. We're on. Like, that's all you can do is no one feels sorry for us. I'm sure there are some other teams around the state going, yes. They're excited for it, but away we go.
Did anybody surprise you in practice at all?
Yeah, I said it, like Connor Kurth, Lamb, the things we wanted to see too were visible. Brodzinski, best shape he's ever been in, coming off 19 goals. If there's a guy that gets enough talked about, but still a little bit under the radar, though I think he got some accolades in the league, if I'm not mistaken, right? Second team, and visibly different in a great way. Justen Close, visibly the same as he's always been. Very good to see. Renzel, great, fun. Like he and we're just. I always feel like I'm going to miss somebody in there, but the great thing is and I've talked to them, like, I don't come with any pre-planned, but I go up to them to make the story, and we'll talk about their stories they're going through. We got lots to be encouraged about.
How do you handle the workload for Justen? He's played a lot of games, and it looks like he's going to get a lot this year.
Yeah, that's the other one. Our freshman goalie, he's been out and he hasn't practiced yet. And Nathan should be back in probably 2-3 weeks. And we're hoping to get him back in there. He's just kind of a workhorse, and he has his routine down and how he prepares. And the great thing, and all that follows, no, he is as steady as they come. And that's how it's a remarkable story that just not ending and keeps going.
Coach, a lot of people over the years might have said that the big ice might have been a secret weapon for the Gophers. It might have played to your advantage at times.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the new rink?
I can honor. Was it an advantage? Yes. Was it a disadvantage? Yes. The disadvantage now is our talent level, you know, for what is the same. And what has evolved, what evolved over the years of the Olympic ice was more defense, slower game. I always say soccer on a big field, it's hard to score. There's a lot of that too. And then when we go into the tournament, so there for as much as advantage as we did have, yes. And then even you can go back another decade, Mankato had Olympic rink. We're in the same, Colorado College had one. They don't have them anymore. I think there's only one left in the country, if I'm not mistaken, at St. Cloud. And there used to be a half a dozen or a dozen. And so there's a reason they're going away. But I still think our home ice advantage is going to continue to be in this rink. And that's what we have to take advantage of. And it's a fair answer, fair question, fair answer. But the disadvantage that we had from it is gone. It's at least neutral. It's at least neutral.
You got a fair number of fans out there who are nervous about recruiting. What do you want to say to them as they look long term at the Gophers program and how you approach everything that's going on out there these days?
Well, I'm not nervous. I keep coming to games and watching. I don't know what they're nervous about. So I think we're in good hands.
You've said in the past you don't want a crystal ball recruit. You want to get players coming here that you are confident in.
Well, that
fit what you're looking for.
A biggest thing that happened with that was the NCAA rule change that happened after my first year. No more, where now you can offer players the September 1st of their junior year. Remember, for 2 decades prior to that, as recruiting got younger and younger in all sports, it was pretty much a disaster for a number of different reasons. It has helped all of our sport. I think it's helped all of sports. As a parent, as a coach, that this process is slowed down. Recruiting is a lifeblood of college sports, and thank goodness we got a lot of good ones here.
One more question about the ice. Sorry to bug you again. Can you just explain to our viewers at home when this trend started for the Olympic size rinks and why it started and why you're getting away from it now?
Well, I'm not a huge historian, but it started after 1980 Olympics, I think is when it started, and it was a fad that came in, and I mean, I can't off the top of my head, I don't know how many were around the country, but it does make for a slower, and coaching starting to really take hold on Olympic rinks, and I'm going by from everything I've heard in Europe, my experience with USA Hockey, that over the couple decades after, Europe, which plays on primarily all Olympic rinks, got very defensive. They were overcoached, I call it, when you play that kind of defense. And It's a more physical game. It's a more offensive game on a smaller sheet. It's more fan friendly, and you can recruit more versatile players to it, where you get a little limited. It hurts a lot of players playing on the big ice sheet. So some players, it doesn't matter if they're big or small, they're going to be good players, but it does hinder a handful of players. I can tell you the players are excited. All players that can come down. And if it were a great thing, I think you'd see them all over the National Hockey League, and you don't see any. A little hybrid, we got a little hybrid going, so we're a little bigger than NHL sheet, so we still got a little extra space out there.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you.
Is that it? Okay.
Easy question right out of the gate is, what do you think of the new sheet? How different is it going to be?
It's cool. Just looking at it right now, I mean, it's different just to see it not as big, and the corner is definitely tighter. All the guys are really excited to play, and so am I, so it'll be really cool.
Are you going to miss the old rink at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone will. There's a history there. There's a history of that rink, and I mean, to see it built in this atmosphere and in this area, it'll be cool.
Well, for you personally, what are you really looking forward to build on last year for this upcoming year?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, we've gained a lot of younger guys. We have a pretty young core-ish. I think just kind of building off of last year. Our goals for this season coming in, obviously, is to start off with, a right foot in the door and start off strong. Create good habits in the Big Ten and win series. I think just coming out of the gate hard will be something I'll be really interested in.
One of the younger guy, Oliver Moore. What are your first impressions on him?
Great kid. He's really competitive, really determined kid, really motivated for the sport of hockey. He does things behind the scenes that not a lot of players do to earn their spot on the team, and I think that he's going to have a really huge impact on this team this year.
Did you learn anything from last year that kind of surprised you that you maybe took note of this summer to prepare for this year?
Yeah, I think as a freshman last year, I learned a ton of things from the older guys, like Matthew Nyes, Brock Faber, and Jaxon Close. I mean, those guys obviously know what it takes to be a pro hockey player. You've seen it on television and things like that, and just to kind of learn from them and learn what it takes to take that next step is such a huge process of being a hockey player, and just to see them in college and to see what they did and how they process this hockey player is just really fortunate.
Is there anything specific from their routine that you took?
I'd say just kind of taking things slow and live in the present. Those guys never jump ahead of time. They don't worry about certain things. They kind of just give it their all every game and do their best and help the team win.
Nothing you can do about it, but you lose your two line mates from last year. Just can you reflect on the experience playing with them and the obvious adjustments you're going to have to make from two guys that were pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, playing with them was something I don't know if I'll ever do again in the college atmosphere. They were two hockey players that, they're going to be franchise NHL players, and to play with them is really, really lucky for me. And coming onto this year, I need to take a bigger step in my game and have that leadership role that Nyes did. And kind of what he did for me is what I need to do for the younger guys. And I'm going to be really fortunate enough to play with some really good players this year too. Guys like Brodzinski, Moore, Hughlin, just top-end players who didn't get as recognized last year, but will get very recognized this year.
Did it surprise you that Logan left after saying he was going to come back?
A little bit. Honestly, not hugely. I knew that it was always in the back of his mind, and from the day he told me, it was a huge congrats to him, and he obviously fits in very well. I mean, I'm sure most of you saw his goal the other night. That was pretty cool, and he's going to be a great hockey player for theirs.
See Brock in the playoffs and Matthew and then obviously Logan recently. Did ever give you a temptation of like, hey, like all my buddies are going there, like giving it a shot yourself?
A little bit. I think it was always in the back of my head, but like I said before, I think playing that leadership role this year and kind of knowing that, I'm not fully ready for that showcase of talent yet is something that I can develop a lot more this year and have that, in the back of my head that I need to lead this team and our captains need to lead this team to victory.
Is it mostly the leadership thing, like the mental side you want to take a step with this year to get yourself ready for the next level, or is there anything physically on the ice or skill level that you're like, hey, this is what I need to get ready for?
Yeah, I'd say leadership is obviously one of the biggest ones, but on the ice physically, there's always things that I need to work on with my skating, my shot, my playmaking ability. It's never going to be the best I think it could possibly be. So when it gets to that point, I think I'll be ready. But this year I really didn't work on those things and kind of make sure I'm ready for the year.
Is there a bit of an unfinished business approach this team has?
I'd say for sure, 100%. There's always that in the back of our heads from last year, and we know what it takes to be in that position, and we know what it takes to get there, and I think we have a team to do it.
Do you think about Tampa at all during your off season, or do you kind of put it in the box and move on?
Always. I think that's one of the biggest motivation factors. Every single time I step on the ice, it's, we lost that game, and we have a dream in mind, and we need to complete that goal. And from the first game to our last this year, it's going to be, most of our guys, returning guys, motivating factor, and for you guys, they need to embrace that.
Anything fun this summer? You do anything fun this summer? Other than
A lot of golf, I'd say, just kind of hanging out with buddies and a little bit of football, but that's basically it.
You lean on your dad at all? He'd gone through a similar experience back in '89.
Yeah, my dad always tells me it's still in the back of his head, which is kind of confusing, but I mean, it sticks with you forever, and to know that I have another chance at it, and he tells me every day that he didn't get a chance at it like I do now, and like I said, I'm going to embrace every single second of this and try to win that thing.
Thank you very much.
Justin, how thankful you are to have the opportunity, just being here now and having the chance to have another year that back in the day may not have happened.
Yeah, we're definitely pretty fortunate. I think I speak for Nelly and Brodzi too, that we're all pretty lucky to be able to come back and play a fifth year. And there's nowhere better to play college hockey, so it's a pretty good opportunity for us.
I just want to hear is like a goalie perspective with the ice kind of shrinking down. Is there anything that maybe you work on or practice anything differently or not really?
I don't really think much changes. I mean, the game for the most part is always still played within the dots. And, we played on a lot of different sheets throughout, different weekends in college. You play on Olympic sheets and then you go and you play on NHL sheets. So not really a lot changes. It's got a little bit different look to it, but yeah, nothing really working on.
Any note about maybe the nostalgia of the old big rink?
I don't think that's quite set in yet. Maybe I'll look back on it and notice a difference, but I don't really notice it yet.
For you, do you kind of envision yourself taking like a big leadership role? I know a lot of last year's core kind of is now gone. You as a graduate student, do you kind of do that?
I think that room's got a lot of leadership by committee. I think there's some older guys in there, and there's some guys who've been there for a while, but I think everybody in that room's got a lot of experience and a lot of trust in each other. And I think when you have that, you got a locker room full of leaders. So I don't really look for much change in that.
What stood out with the new guys in the team?
I think how well they gelled together right away. I mean, it just seems like on and off the ice they just get along so well, and I mean that's usually been the case here. I can't think of too many instances where hockey guys don't get along, but things just click right away for them. That's what I've noticed.
Makes them every day. What makes Snuggerud such a unique goal scorer? Pardon me? What makes Snuggerud such a unique goal scorer from a shot perspective, from a goalie's perspective?
Who?
Snuggerud?
Oh, Snuggerud?
Yeah.
He's just got a quick, hard shot. I mean, he can shoot it from anywhere in his feet. He can shoot it from out. He can drag and shoot. He can push and shoot. It's hard. It's accurate. So he's got a lot of traits that obviously help him get that off in games too.
How much do you guys use last year when it ended to fuel this year?
I think, obviously looking back on it, it's not how we want it to end, but I think you just got to take that experience and use it to make you better. Think about what you can learn from it and just keep moving forward, though. That's the biggest thing.
You lost some defensemen, obviously, been playing an awful lot of minutes for the guys. How's the defense kind of looking?
Well, we're looking forward for guys to fill roles. That's college hockey. You guys come in, you guys go out. I mean, that's hockey in general. So it's going to be more opportunity, more ice time for some guys, and I know they're looking forward to that challenge. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the growth and the maturity in those guys' games this year.
Thanks, Closer. Thank you.
What was the process and the decision for you to come back?
I mean, it was kind of like Christmas time. It was just I was hanging out with Nelly and Nevers, and I think Motzko was kind of in Nevers' ear to get in mine and Nelson's ear about coming back, and so he first started talking to us, and at first me and Nelson were kind of skeptical because it was so far away and we didn't really know, and it's just the more we started thinking about it, the better it sounded, and it wasn't really an official decision until after last season we lost that game, and we still kind of have a little bit left in college hockey, and so that was kind of our biggest thing.
Well, Bob talked about it a little bit earlier, how you've come in with like a lot of confidence and looked a lot better this year. Was there something in the off season that you did to really try to improve your game?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's just that confidence thing is, it kind of comes from, us losing last year and wanting to get better this year, and so it's kind of was part of that was, coming back for a fifth year. I wasn't just going to come back just to play one more year. It was kind of coming back to prove myself a little bit and, hopefully have the best year that I've had.
You've been around a lot of really strong leaders here in your time. Like, what kind of things you pick up from them that you brought into your meeting to be more big role for you this year?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it's on ice, so it's just kind of being able to look up to those guys in key situations, and that's a position I've always wanted to be in. So, being able to be somebody that people look up upon and kind of be out there in those key roles was something that I always looked up on those guys.
What have you seen from Oliver Moore so far?
Incredibly fast. He's insanely fun to play with because you get the puck in a lot of spots that you wouldn't expect it sometimes, and he's also not very fun to play with because you give it to him and then you're playing catch up for the rest of the shift. So, he's a little water bug out there. Him and Pitlick are always moving around. So, super fun to play with. Really skilled player.
Any thoughts on the new ice and how it will affect you or any other players, you think?
No, I mean, I've always been a guy where it's, we could practice on Mariucci the whole day and then go play in Michigan and I really wouldn't notice a difference. So, just over the past week, they finally got the ice in, they got the boards in and everything. So, it's just exciting because I kind of wanted to see what it would look like in the end. And so now that it's kind of here, we're super excited to finally get out there and practice on it.
You see the highlights of Cooley's goal in Australia. What do you think of the move?
I mean, everyone in the hockey world was kind of freaking out about it, but you see it 6 times a day in practice every single day throughout the year. So I was talking with my dad about that. It's like he pulls off that move, and even if he didn't pull off that move, he gets hit or loses the puck, he's going to try it 4 more times that game. There's no losing confidence with him, and that's one of the reasons why he's the most skilled player, one of the most skilled players in the world. He has such a confidence in himself, and he's not afraid to try things like that. So, it was an unbelievable goal, and super happy to see him succeeding at that level.
Did it surprise you at all that he left?
I mean, no, I'm super close to him, so I was always talking with him about that, and it's a decision that he had to make for himself, and obviously, if it would have been a little earlier, it would have been better for our team, but no one on our team was mad at him at all. So it's we're all super happy for him that he's at the next level, and we're super happy that he's succeeding, and it was a decision that he had to make for himself, so no one was upset about it or anything, and he was super good at talking with us about it.
What are the next steps for you? To take your game again, I guess, to another level. You're assessing yourself.
I think it's just kind of growing confidence with the puck. I mean, at least throughout my career, I've been on a lot of lines where, I kind of let my line mates play with the puck a little bit and wait to get into a scoring opportunity. And, I think this year, it's going to be a big step for me to be able to play with the puck and maybe create opportunities for my line mates.
What do you think this year's leadership team can do differently from last year's leadership team?
I don't think much. I think, last year, our leadership group was unbelievable last year. I mean, you had Faber and McComb and Johnson, and, Faber was probably the best captain I've ever had in my entire life. So, I think a lot of it is us kind of, piggybacking off what they did and doing a lot of the same things. I don't think they really did anything wrong, and they were unbelievable for us all last year.
Look at Faber, he's going to be compared with Jonas Brodin in the NHL, top 4. Like, what do you like watching him in the playoffs last year? Did you watch any of the games that he was playing in?
Yeah, I mean, he had that one save last year. I don't remember if it was in overtime or what, but he had that, diving poke check. Yeah, I mean, saved the game, and I remember it was like 12:30 because it was in like the third overtime or something, and everyone was half asleep on the couch, and I got out of my chair screaming because I thought it was Faber, and then replay went and it was him, and everyone's kind of surprised at how quick he adapted to the level, and no one on our team really was, because we knew that he was ready for the NHL level since he came in as a freshman. So we're all super happy for him and not surprised at all at how well he's doing.
Thanks, Bryce.
Thank you.
What's it mean for you to be the captain?
It's an honor to be a captain of a team that's going to be really good this year. We got a lot of guys coming back, and just excited to start the season.
What'd you take from, say, Brock Faber? Did you take any advice from him on being a captain?
Yeah, earlier in the season last year, I think he kind of got a little excited about things at first, and as the season went on, it went a lot cooler and calmer, and just kind of being the in-between guy with coach and relaying the message to the guys, and got a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores, so making sure they know what he wants us to be doing and those kind of things.
Jaxon, there's a plaque, I think, down there of a list of all the captains. What does it mean to you? I mean, there's some names on there, and now you're going to be on that too.
Yeah, there's a lot of big names on there, and being one of those is obviously an honor, being from a small town too, so trying to make everyone proud.
How would you describe your leadership style?
I'd say I lead more by example, on the ice, penalty kill, and playing in the deep zone, and just playing an honest 200-foot game.
When did you make the decision last year? Did you know that you always wanted to come back for your fifth year, or how did that go about?
Yeah, after losing, there was a lot of pain, and you had to kind of put that aside and know what your heart wanted to do, and I just felt like I wanted to come back, and there's a lot of things that I still wanted to do, and I got hurt my junior year, so kind of got half the season taken away from that, and just kind of wanted to be back and be back here.
What do you see in this group that gives you confidence that you can get back there like you did last year, kind of get over the hump? I guess kind of.
Yeah, we have a lot of returning forwards. We had a lot of freshmen last year, but they got as much experience as possible. Played on the biggest stage, played as many games as we possibly could, and I just think we're gonna be a good tight knit group, and just us leaders being older guys and fifth-year goalies, so there's going to be a calm group of guys, I think.
Frozen Fours in St. Paul this season. What does it mean as a goal for you guys, and especially you as a Minnesota kid, getting there?
Yeah, it hasn't been there for a while, and hopefully we can get back there. That's one thing we're looking forward to, but one thing I've kind of told the guys is we got to stay on track and not look too far ahead and just focus on our next practice, next day.
Kind of taking steps each year, making the tournament, making your Frozen Four, making a championship game. Are there things you take away from those experiences that help you going forward?
Yeah, definitely. You always want to win, but there's always a lesson to be learned, and I think we've learned enough lessons by now. Hopefully we can get it done this year.
Is there anything that stands out from Tampa that you think about, or do you kind of move on from there?
I mean, yeah, it'll always be in the back of my head, but I try not to think about it too much. I'll think about it here or there, but honestly, it was just a good game by them and a good game by us, and it kind of fell the wrong way, I think.
What's impressed you by the freshmen on this team?
Got some big D. Got a lot of size back there. Oliver Moore's gonna be a good player, and Jimmy Clark will be a good player. I just think they're good. They'll be a good group of guys, and they're fun to be around. So I think that's the most important thing.
Those guys are helping you those kids.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I took in just from being around Brock Faber was dorm roommates with him freshman year, and so kind of got really close with him. It's just leading by example with the little things every day. You don't got to be the loudest guy in the room in order to be a captain. Growing up, I've always kind of been a vocal leader, so he's kind of kept me honest and doing the little things as actions versus just speaking all the time. So guys like him and Walker, who I was obviously close with growing up, just seeing how they compete every day. The young guys definitely take notes with that and just trying to continue to do that.
It seemed kind of odd when they started practice. There's no Brock, no Jaxon, Nicole, Nyes or Cooley either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a little weird. It's kind of like that every year. When you lose the seniors, and sometimes now we'll have fifth years leaving in the future. But when you lose those guys, it's kind of a weird turnaround, especially at the start in the fall. Guys are kind of finding their way, their new roles and whatnot. But we got a lot of good freshmen coming in and a lot of guys ready to step up. So it should be good to get the ball rolling here soon.
What's impressed you about the freshmen?
Just the way that they compete every day, and they're so willing to learn. I mean, we throw systems at them, and it's not easy coming in. You come into an environment with school, just everything going on with college, and it can be hard to just focus every day, but they come and they bring it and compete, and they're smart. So just their compete level has been awesome, and they'll transfer well into the games.
Last year you had so many new players up with the forwards group. This year a lot of guys returning. Does that change how you approach the season and practice?
I think it's a little different, just the way we have been practicing with drills and stuff. like guys you mentioned with Lacombe, Johnson, Faber being down on that back end, a lot of minutes to be replaced there. And I think we've been kind of harping on the D zone and getting some of those freshman defensemen into it. And now it's kind of time for those sophomore forwards to take those leaps. And they've been great so far. And I think they're a lot more comfortable now and kind of out of their shells on the ice and just personality-wise in the locker room. So just kind of harping in on the D zone just because we know we got some minutes to fill back there.
Do you notice anything different from the coaching staff coming into this year than past years?
Nothing really. I mean, I think Bob does a great job of just staying consistent with what he does and kind of giving it over to the older guys. And we know what's expected. And when we have the captains being able to lead the room, I think that's when we're at our best. Bob doesn't need to harp on all the expectations all the time. It should be held within the room. And I think we've been doing a good job of that and been getting good minutes out of practice every day. So.
Frozen Fours in St. Paul this year, is that kind of sitting there as the gold standard to reach?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just built within every year now. You always want to get there, obviously. It's hard to deny how cool it'll be if we can get there in St. Paul. But, you know, this year is going to obviously be different. Guys like you mentioned that are gone. It's a different team. It's a new season, and we're going to have to get there a different way than we did last year. So just trying to take it week by week, get better every practice, because we're not going to win games the same exact way as we did last year. So obviously the expectation is to get there, but it's going to be a whole different season.
What part of your game did you work on most throughout the season?
I think for me it's just been skating and getting stronger. It's kind of what coaches have harped on me ever since I was a youth, Bantam and whatnot. But yeah, just kind of the skating, getting faster, quicker, and then getting out of turns is kind of the biggest thing for me. But yeah, I'd say skating for sure.
Do you notice any teammates who came back from the summer and look a little different? Or
Brodsky definitely got a little faster, and that'll be fun to see, fun for fans to see in games. But no, everyone passed the eye test. Everyone did a good job, and you know you can see it on the ice in practice. Guys are competing, and you know there's a lot of tension on the ice when you're in competitive drills, and you like that, and it makes everyone better. So I think everyone did a pretty good job. It's hard to say just individuals, but for the most part, it seems like everyone did a good part.
do you do any testing or anything like when you come back?
Yeah, we do on and off ice testing with Cal. So. But yeah, I mean, that more kid flies. We'll get the talk down here soon, but he flies fastest kid I've ever seen skate, so he killed the testing.
Is there any one test you look at and focus on, or?
No, I mean, skating is kind of the biggest one because, I mean, how fast you can sprint doesn't always correlate to how fast you can skate. And obviously we're here to play hockey, so that's kind of the one you want to harp on the most. But no, just being in shape, being fit with all of them is good, and it can't go wrong. Kind of shows how you work in the gym and how you work on the ice in the summer as well.
Were you just referring to more speed? What else have you seen from him?
I mean, his hands are lightning fast too. He's fast. He's a competitor too. He's one of those freshmen, like I mentioned, when he loses a puck battle or drill, he doesn't like it, and he keeps competing. So he's a workhorse, and he'll do a lot of really good things for us.
Thanks, Mason.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
What's the transition been like to college hockey so far for you?
Yeah, I mean, haven't played any games yet, but obviously the practices are a really high pace. Just the college lifestyle it's a lot different than a junior lifestyle. It's been an adjustment, but it's been something it's been a lot of fun, and it's been great just to put the Gopher jersey on in practice, and skate with these guys has been awesome.
You know, everyone always talks about your speed. We've already heard it here, but is there something like in your game that you want people to also know about?
Yeah, I think that a big part of hockey is your defensive game, and I think that I take a lot of pride in that. I think, you only have the puck for so much of the game, but I think that my detail and my commitment to playing defense is something that I take a lot of pride in, and maybe something that doesn't get noticed a lot.
What's the last 6 months been like for you? Because obviously, you're drafted first round, everything else, now you're here. I mean, there's been a lot of change for you.
Yeah, it's just been really cool, though, honestly, just to experience it with all my family, all my friends, everyone that's kind of gotten me to this moment. I mean, obviously, like the draft, the combine, you had that whole process, but then the process of becoming a Golden Gopher has also been really cool. And it's just been an exciting last 6 months, to be honest. Yeah.
As far as off the ice, you lived out a freshman too, or how's that work?
Yeah, we just live in a dorm over here. I live with Sam and Zell, actually, and yeah, we have all 6 freshmen in there, and we all eat together, eat the same meals, eat everything together. So yeah, it's good to create a bond with those guys as well. It's been awesome.
How do you feel you guys have fit in with the players that are already here?
I think we fit in great. I think that the guys, it's a big credit to the upperclassmen and all the guys on the team, honestly. they've done a really good job of just implementing us right away into everything. And I mean, credit to the culture here. I think just being here for the last couple of weeks, the culture is something that, definitely stands out, and it's special to be a part of.
What was the process of you choosing the Gophers?
Yeah, I think it was for that reason. I think, I wanted to go to a place obviously where I could win, and I think that the coaching staff, everyone in this building wants to win, and anything short of that is a disappointment for us, and I think that I'm just excited to do that.
Looks like you might be playing center this year. What's the biggest challenge for transitioning from junior hockey to college hockey, playing that position?
Yeah, I think it's everything. I mean, being a centerman, if I am able to play center, is I think you're playing against bigger, faster, stronger guys. Everything's kind of a step faster, and obviously the defensive game is something that you really have to be disciplined in. If you make a mistake with the puck, in college hockey, there's a lot less room for that. They're going to go down the other way and put it in your net. So, I think that just those couple things there.
Is there something about this coaching staff that you kind of take away after every skate, or any points of emphasis that they're giving you?
Yeah, I think for me, it's the energy that they bring every single day. I think we don't have a lot of time together on the ice right now, obviously pretty limited, but what we're able to do in those 40 minutes on the ice is really cool. And Bob, Gordo, and Killer, they're all great guys, and just everyone surrounding the program has been awesome.
Well, for a lot of these guys, it seemed like it was kind of unfinished business, like Frozen 4 2 years in a row. For you as a freshman, kind of not experiencing that, what is your mindset coming into this season?
Yeah, I think obviously any season you go into, it's the winning mentality. You gotta have that expectation for your team and for yourself. Is we're gonna bring our best every single night to win. And like you said, obviously the last couple of years haven't gone exactly the way that they wanted to. Obviously, have been great seasons, but haven't been able to get a national championship. So I think that's our mentality, is to win one of those, and I think that's every team's mentality.
Is there anything you're really looking forward to this season?
I'm looking forward to playing at this new rink. It looks sweet. I've been just watching it getting built and stuff like that, and looking forward to have a packed house here hopefully soon.
If you had a dream name, image, likeness deal, what would it be for you?
That's a good question. I like the Chipotle, that one. That would be cool. I'll have that one. Just free Chipotle night. It's always something we're going to, so a free meal would be nice every once in a while.
Thanks, Aller.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.